We all have some idea of what this scene looks like in the back of our head. This is tall mountain, and there's thunder, and there's lightning flashing, and on top stands Moses holding in his hand these 2 tablets that contain the 10 Commandments, and God is speaking to him, and it's powerful, and it's fiery, and then Moses descends from the mountain, and then you know what happens next? I'll tell you. There are 5 psukim that conclude our Parsha Yitro, that seem completely out of place. You know what happens in these 5 psukim? Number 1, Hashem tells the people, don't you go ahead and start making gods out of gold and silver. And number 2, what should you do instead of making gods out of gold and silver? You should make a mizbach adama, a mizbeach, an altar made out of earth. Why is this the culmination of the Har Sinai story? So thank God Rav Hirsch steps in. What Rav Hirsch explains is the following. At Har Sinai, the Jewish people got something they had never experienced before, which is a direct relationship with God. Rav Hirsch calls this the Vayidaber Hashem al Moshe Limor, that God is able to speak to the people. Until that point, the people have thought about God, imagined God, they've experienced God from within. This is the first time they're able to speak to God as an external entity. And now the people are confused. Because now that God is no longer within, but he's external, they have to understand the nature of this relationship. Because if you have 2 parties in a relationship and they're distant, in order for the relationship to be strong, you have to bring them closer. Which can be done in one of 2 ways. The first way is to bring party A closer to party B. The second way is to bring party B closer to party A. But one party has to move closer to the other party. So the question, when it came to the Jews' relationship with Hashem, Rav Hirsch explains, is what was going to be the right way to do it? To bring Hashem to the people, or to bring the people to Hashem? And that, Rav Hirsch says, is exactly what was going on. Like we said, the concluding 5 psukim of the Parsha had 2 commands. Number 1, don't make gods out of gold and silver, and instead do make a mizbach adama, an altar, a mizbeach made out of earth. What's going on over here? When Hashem tells the people to not make gods out of gold and silver, Hashem is essentially saying, I don't want our relationship to be one where you take me and you try to bring me down to the world by trying to make these divine images in the world, by bringing me in, taking gold and silver, which are these high quality materials because you think I'm high quality, and trying to make divine manifestations in this world. That's not what our relationship should be, where you take me and you bring me down to earth. Instead, it should be you take earth and bring it up. And that's why Hashem says, instead of making these gods of gold and silver, take a mizbach adama, an altar, something that's made out of ground, the basic material of the earth. And the Gemara teaches us there can't be a chatzitza, there can't be a separation between the mizbeach made of earth and the actual ground. It's supposed to be like it's emerging from the ground. And you should take that and use that as an opportunity to bring korbanot, to bring offerings, which are a way of taking physical things and elevating them to God. The Ramban explains in Sefer Vayikra that the offering of a sacrifice is in lieu of us offering ourselves, of taking ourselves and elevating us to God. And essentially that's the whole message that God is giving. That instead of taking him and bringing him down to this world, by making these gods of gold and silver, we should take us and move us closer to God, elevate us spiritually by making this mizbach adama. And God continues by telling the people, B'chol makom askir et shemi, and every place that I make my name revealed, in every place where I'm going to be present in this world, how am I supposed to be revealed? Not that I should be revealed through my essence, through my divine qualities, but rather avoy lecha u'berachticha. I'm going to come and I'm going to bless you. You're going to see my blessings. I don't want you to experience my essence, my divinity, but rather I want you to experience my actions. Why? Because what's the difference between God's essence and God's actions? God's essence is divine, but God's actions are human. The way we perceive what God does in this world is the way we look at him through human lens. And we're supposed to emulate these actions. Mahu rachum afatarachum. Just like God is merciful, so too we're merciful. And God's whole point is that we're not supposed to try to bring his divine qualities into this world, but rather we're supposed to bring his divine actions into this world, which are essentially the quintessential form of human actions. God acts in this world in a way that appears to be human so that we know how to emulate him. That's God's whole point. That if we want to continue this relationship with God, we're not supposed to take him and lower him into this world by making things that look divine, but rather we're supposed to take ourselves and elevate us. And bring us closer to God, and that's by acting in doing human actions that emulate divine actions, and that's by using human physical things and bringing them closer to God. And that's what the nature of our relationship should be, not bringing God down to us, but rather bringing us up to God. And that's what essentially God is telling the people. He says that this whole thing that happened on Har Sinai, this whole, I'm going to come down to you and I'm going to make myself known in unnatural, miraculous ways, that was a one-time shebang. But I don't want that to be the essence of our relationship. I don't want me to constantly be coming down to you, but rather I want you to be constantly coming up to me. And it's something that's so important in our Avodas Hashem. Our Avodas Hashem isn't supposed to be selfish. It's not supposed to be a ta'asun lachem, that you're doing this for you, that you're worshiping God so you get something out of it, but rather it's a ta'aseli. You're worshiping God for God's sake, so you could bring yourself up to God. Our relationship with God is not supposed to be about getting and taking, but it's supposed to be about giving and doing. And that's why right after these psukim we have Parsha Mishpatim. Right after the Har Sinai story is the Parsha that is full of mitzvot, because the whole point is our relationship with God is not supposed to be about us taking from the divine, but rather as giving to and contributing to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to the people around us. That's what our Avodas Hashem is about. It's one of giving and not necessarily about receiving. And this after party of Har Sinai, this post Har Sinai lesson, something we're supposed to take to heart when we think about the quality of our Avodas Hashem. Something to ponder. Everyone have a great Shabbos and a great week. We'll talk soon.